and Unwavering Peace, posted on July 16th, 2012. If you are presently experiencing a barrage of negativity from your mind with a constant flux of emotions, it may seem unrealistic to even imagine that one can actually come to a place of unwavering peace. But eventually, as you move through the process of releasing the mind momentum, you inevitably end up in this space of permanent inner peace, which is totally unwavering irrespective of the circumstances. This peace is not a forced one. It does not require you to be on the alert. It does not require you to stay focused on silencing the mind. It does not need any recollection of understandings or pointers. It needs no effort to maintain. It just is. It feels like home, like your natural state of being, a real wholeness where nothing seems lacking within. In some teachings, this natural state has been called the peace beyond understanding, and that's exactly what it is, a causeless peace. It's not a dull or numb kind of a calm. It's an alive space of peace. It's a very living peace. It's not dead. It's not bland. It's far deeper than any joy that you might have experienced through your mind states, far deeper than any form of exuberance or enjoyment. If it was not for the mind momentum and the accumulation of emotional energy, you would know that this unwavering peace is your natural state of being. It's like the smoky clouds covering the blueness of the sky. The clouds can mask your view of the clear sky, but it's always there behind the clouds. The same way, the peace of being is always present below the clouds, created by the emotions, flux of feelings, created by your mind's intensity. When the mind loses its intensity, it loses its capacity to create resistance in your body, which is what unpleasant feelings actually are. Without the flux of these negative feelings running through your body, you are constantly privy to the peace of your being. A lot of these negative feelings are stored up as accumulated energy in your body space over the years, owing to the fact that you suppressed them because they felt too unpleasant to face. This accumulation creates layers of suppressed energy, which become like thick blankets, preventing access to the natural space of peace in your being. Your mind's momentum further creates these negative feelings anew, while also being fueled by your past accumulation when you are lost in being unconsciously identified with it. Entering a state of open allowing is the direct way to break out of this loop of negativity. Deepening in your being. For a while, you have to be committed to the process of staying in a space of allowing, which inherently feels like just drowning deeply into your being. All the understanding eventually is so that you can keep letting go into your being without being taken in by the countless fear-based arguments thrown by the mind to keep you anchored in its bevy of thoughts. It can feel scary to let go of being anchored in thinking actively and to just rest in a space of allowing the mind to think passively and to allow emotions to happen without trying to sort them out. But the very reason for gaining understanding of this process is so that you are not too scared, so that you don't get too worried or concerned about this step of letting go into your being. The mind can create some dramatic imaginations about this process. For example, it may tell you that you will dissolve, or that you will lose your senses, or that you will just become a recluse for life. But all these are just deluded thoughts. If you buy into these arguments of the mind, you will stay anchored in its pull without ever coming to your inner freedom. The very reason for finding inner wholeness, or this space of inner peace, is so that you can live an aligned physical life where you are not at the mercy of your mind's wavering thoughts and the flux of strong emotions. This process is not about disconnecting you from physicality. Rather, it's about bringing you to a place of inner stability so that you can live your full potential as a physical being. This is not about becoming a recluse, but about being free to engage with life without fear. Of course, it's true that there will be a phase during this process where you feel a desire for isolation, to be in your space for a while, but it's just a temporary phase. This desire for isolation is just a way to connect deeply with your being without distraction. And when you establish a clear connection, you feel undisturbed even in the presence of the noisiest crowds. Life will provide you with opportunities where you can have some alone time during this process. Use this opportunity to deepen in this space of allowing, instead of worrying or cribbing about being alone. It's only a temporary phase as part of grace from life to assist you in this process. Detached from the mind states. To allow yourself to deepen in your being, it's required that you are detached from the mind states, be it a mind state of joy or a mind state of fear. Just don't cling to either of them. If you cling to a mind state of joy, you are still not letting go into your being. That's the reason why the pointer is to go beyond enjoyment and just stay committed to connecting with your space of being. When you come to inner wholeness, you will be able to experience physicality from this place of stability and peace, which feels like a new type of joy. In fact, joy is not an accurate label for this state. It's very different from a mind-based joy alone. So don't be too worried about letting go of the mind-oriented states of joy for a while. The bottom line is to establish a deep connection with your space of being, and the only way to do that is to no longer be anchored in the mind states. Once you do get grounded in your being, you can effectively use your mind and enjoy your journey of physicality from a place of inner balance. There is no getting away from the fact that it takes time for the mind momentum to reduce as you stay in this space of total allowing. As the mind momentum reduces, you will also see the release of past feelings and emotions. This is because with the reduction of mind momentum, there is a reduction in resistance, and hence all the suppressed emotions can now get released. Of course, the release of these emotions will cause them to become visible in your awareness, and it may feel unpleasant to become conscious of these past emotions, but it's just a fleeting deal, and it will get released quite quickly if you simply stay open to allowing them. A lot of people, when they sense this sudden influx of emotional energy created by the release, start wondering if they are doing something wrong because they imagine that the progress is measured by how good you feel, and hence they feel staggered by the low states created by the release of suppressed emotions. Just be fully allowing of these low states as they arise. Don't sit wondering if you're doing it right. The progress is not measured by how good you feel. Rather, it's about how open you are becoming towards allowing these low states. The state of total allowing, connecting with your space of being, staying open to what arises, deepening in your being, are all eventually just pointers towards letting go of being lost in the mind and staying allowing, consciously, of what arises within you, the thoughts and emotions. Being totally open to them. The more allowing you are, the more you deepen in your space of being. Transformation caused by this process. There will be a sense that your mind is being rewired back into a state of balance. You will sense a transformation in your mind's maturity and will be guided towards gaining deeper understanding of life. It's very normal during this process of connecting with your being that you feel inspired to understand life more deeply. You will also sense negative self-images dissolving and a balanced mind personality coming into being. A seamless mental transformation can take place if you simply stay in the space of allowing, in total trust of your life stream's intelligence. Follow up on your inspirations to learn or understand or introspect about various aspects of life. You may see your mind beginning to come across deeper insights about life, guided from within and from without and from outside sources. All of this is a part of this process of coming to an inner balance. Basically, all these inspirations happen naturally and effortlessly as you simply stay in a space of allowing. To summarize, as a part of this process, you will notice the following: a release of past emotions and negative feelings, emotional clearing, until your inner space is free of any old accumulation. A gradual reduction in your mind's intensity, reduction in its power to grip your being or body with its thoughts until it reaches close to zero intensity. A disintegration of neural pathways or thought patterns related to negative self-images or limiting beliefs, either through gaining new understanding by being guided towards it, or simply an inner dissolution. The emergence of a stable mind state which does not have an imbalanced swing towards highs or lows, thus a balanced personality. A growing sense of lightness in your body as the dense store-up of suppressed emotions are released. A permanent presence of an unwavering space of peace towards the end of the process, which feels like an effortless sense of wholeness. And a movement towards life lived from a place of inner inspiration, rather than from a place of struggle-based thinking, and the emergence of a reality that's aligned with your sense of wholeness. Though I've mentioned all the positive outcomes that come through towards the end of the transition, it's important to realize that the process of release by itself will have its challenges as the old realities and patterns are brought down from within and outside, including a sense of losing old identities, interests, relationships, outlook, and attitude. The very reason for gaining this understanding is so that you can ride through this transition in a relative ease without having to feel too challenged by it. Because usually it's an ignorance of what this process entails that causes confusion and concern. When you know what to expect, you are far more relaxed towards allowing this process of transition towards wholeness.